It's funny, or I guess I shouldn't say it's funny. It's odd that I was talking in one of my previous videos when I was predicting what was going to happen at the club in 2024, that I was talking about continuing financing and ownership of the club, because according to a story in the Independent, John Textor has been considering or negotiating over the last couple of weeks his sale of the 45% stake he has in Crystal Palace. Now, no banks have been involved yet. There's no like formal thing that's going on at the moment. Apparently, it's just talks at the moment. But if that does happen, then it means that Crystal Palace will need to find a buyer for that share of the club. Now, again, in the Independent, they have said that it is thought that any potential buyer would want a majority stake in the club. Now, that means that they would have to buy Steve Parish's 10% of the club that he has. He has quite serious voting rights associated with his share and things like that at the club. So he would be a big player. So they may need to buy him out of the club in order to get a majority stake, which is what apparently a lot of these business companies and things like that are coming in for clubs at the moment. That's what they want. They want to have a majority controlling share. So it's all a bit up in the air at the moment. There's nothing formal, as I said. This is all in this this Independent article, and it does have ramifications potentially for the club. It depends on who comes in to buy the club, what kind of finances they have. It also depends, of course, on whether they want to buy out Steve Parish's part of his share, whether Steve Parish will want to sell his part of the share, because he is quite an influential member of the Premier League clubs now. He has quite a big voice in the Premier League, and certainly a lot of things that he's been doing has been standing up to some of the bigger clubs when they've wanted to make changes and things like that. He's been quite outspoken about what he wants to see in the Premier League. So if he does decide to sell his share, then he will then be out of those negotiations, and of course then potentially out of the club as well. So it's a very up and down situation, a very uncertain situation at the moment. So stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe and follow along for any continuing news. I'll be bringing you that as much as I can as and when it happens. But it's an interesting development, and we'll have to wait and see how it does develop. Let me know down in the comment section what you think about that, about the potential of John Textor leaving and who may want to come in and buy their share of the club. And also, if you can't message, or if you want to send something a bit longer, then you can also email the show, or if you listen to this as a podcast, you can email the show, footballtothecore@gmail.com. That's footballtothecore@gmail.com. Let me know your thoughts about the whole situation.